Hello, Mahima here from Guascrow Academy. I hope you all are doing good. Today we will study the last chapter, which is the chapter 13, our environment. Here in this chapter, we'll study the ecosystem, the components which are playing a role, and each and everything which is related to our environment. Now we had here the word environment often being used in the television, newspapers, and even by the people around us. So, our elders said that the environment is not what used to be earlier. Others say that we should work a healthy environment and a global summits involving the developed and the developing countries. Okay, and are regularly held to discuss the environmental issues. In this chapter, we shall study how the various components in the environment interact with each other and how we impact the environment. So, this is all we'll discuss in this chapter about the environment. Now, ecosystem and what are the components. Environment is fine, okay, but there are something which are related to it. This environment, what are it? Like what are these? Firstly, all the organisms such as plant, animals, microorganisms, and the human beings, as well as the physical surrounding, interact with each other and maintain a balance in nature. All are interacting organisms in an area within the non-living constituents of the environment to form an ecosystem. Okay, so this is like we can see the ecosystem form, how the ecosystem forms, like the plant, animals, the microorganisms, the human beings. These all are interrelated to each other. Okay, so this interaction or the interacting organisms in an area together with the non-living thing or even the constituent of the environment, this forms an ecosystem. Thus, an ecosystem consists of biotic components comprising living organisms and abiotic components comprising physical factors like temperature, rainfall, wind, soil, and the minerals. So this is what abiotic components means, and the biotic component means like we, animals, plant, human being, etc. So this is biotic and abiotic components. Now, for example, if you just visit a garden, okay, and you will find a different plants such as grasses, tree, flowers bearing plants like rose, jasmine, sunflower, interact with each other and their growth. So reproduction and the activities are affected by the abiotic plant animals like wind is helping, water is helping, soil is helping, and all. So this is it helps, okay, do a biotic component of the ecosystem. So a garden is an ecosystem, and other type of ecosystem are like forest, pond, lakes are the main natural ecosystem, while the garden and the crop fields human made are the artificial ecosystem. Okay, but the forest, pond, and the lake are the natural ones. So this is what ecosystem means, and these are some components. We have an activity, like, see, you might have seen our aquarium. Let us try to design one. What are the things that we need to keep our mind when we create an aquarium? So the fish would be the need of free or the space for the swimming. It could be a larger jar, water, oxygen, and food. These three things, okay, like fish needs. We can provide the oxygen through an oxygen pump or aerator, we say, and a fish food which is available in the market. So if we add a few aquatic animals, it can become a self-sustaining system. Can you think that how this happens? So an aquarium is an example of a human-made ecosystem. How we made it? Ecosystem is simply a system which has been like we have created with some biotic and abiotic things as well, like fish is there. So we have simply made this oxygen, the food, and all. So this was like the human made ecosystem, this aquarium. Okay. Also, can we leave the aquarium as such after we get set up? So why does we have to clean it once in the while? Do we have a clean ponds or the lakes in the same manner? Why or why not like this? We have seen in the earlier classes that the organisms can be grouped as a producer, consumer, and the decomposers. Okay, and according to the manner in which they obtain and their sustenance from the environment. So let us recall what we have learned through the self-sustaining ecosystem created by us above. So with the which organisms can make a organic compound like sugar, starch from inorganic compound, and inorganic substance using the radiant energy of the sun in the presence of chlorophyll. All the green plants and the certain bacteria which can produce the food for the photosynthesis come under the category which is called producers. So now we'll study what producers mean. So it is something which produces by the photosynthesis, and under which comes the producers. Like we know that plant and the certain bacteria can produce the food with the help of photosynthesis. Now, the organism depend on the producers either directly or their or indirectly sustenance these organisms, which comes the food produced either directly from the producers or indirectly feeding on other consumers in which they are dependent. Consumers can be classed variously as the herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, and the parasite. There are some type of like this consumers. We can say like herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and the parasite. Can you give the example for each of the categories? So let's see. Firstly, imagine the situation where do you not clean the aquarium and some fish and the plants have died. Okay, have you ever thought that what happens when an organism dies? So the microorganisms are there. They are comprising like bacteria, fungi, break down the least number of waste or product of organism. These microorganisms are the decomposers as they break down the complex organic substance into the simple organic substance and that go into the soil and are used up for the once more by the plant. So what will happen? The garbage and the dead animal plant in their absence, when the natural replacement of the soil takes place, even the decomposers are there or not. So this is the process. Okay. So this was a simple process when organism dies. So microorganism will take place. It will just simply convert the complex thing into the simpler thing like this. Okay. But what if they are not present? There will be any natural replenishment. Then that will see. So, firstly, there is one activity. Okay, while creating an aquarium, did you take care not of aquatic animals, which would be eat each other's? What would you have happened otherwise? Make a group and the diseases. Make a group and the discuss, sorry, not diseases, discuss how each of the above groups of organisms are dependent on each other. Now, write the aquatic like organism in order to eat the chain like three steps. One depend on the other depend on the like this. Would you be consider the one group organism the primary substance and why or why not? So this is the activity you can do it. Now let's see the food chain and the food web. Okay, the very important thing. So firstly, in activity 13 point, we are going to study that we this the previous activity we have informed that the series of organisms feeding on each other one depends to other like this we have started. Okay, so this series our organisms this series or organisms take a part of the various biotic bi yeah, so it takes biotic levels or to form a food chain. Okay, food chain. So each step or the level of the food chain forms a tropical level, and the autotrophs or the reducers are the first tropic level. They fix up the solar energy and make it available for the heterotrophs and the consumers. So the herbivores or the primary consumers come to the second, then small carnivores or the secondary consumers. At the third, large carnivores and the tertiary consumers, and the fourth are the tropical ones. So this is how we can say the first, the second, the third, and the fourth tertiary, secondary, or the tropical, etc. Okay, we know that the food we eat acts as a fuel to produce like we know that we eat acts as a fuel to provide us the energy to do the work. So thus the interaction among the component of the environment involves flow in the energy of our component of system. As we have studied that the autotrophs capture the energy present in the sunlight, we know. Okay, and it's simply converted into the chemical energy. And this energy support all the activities of the living world from the heterotrophs, and the energy goes to the heterotrophs and then decomposes. So, however, as we saw in the previous chapter, sources of energy, that when one form of energy change into the some form energy, they lost the environment in form which cannot be used again. So, the flow of energy between the various component of the environment has been extensively studied, and it has been found that the green plants in the terrestrial ecosystem capture the 1% of the energy of sunlight that falls on their leaves and convert into the food energy. Second is when the green plants, are eaten by the primary consumers, a great deal of energy lost of the heat to the environment, and the some amount of the goes into the digestion and doing work. and the rest goes towards the growth and then the production. So an average 10% of the food eaten and turned into the own body and made available for the next level of the consumers. Third is therefore 10% can be taken as an average value of the amount of organism matter that is present each setup and reaches in the next level of the consumer. This is the tropic level, tertiary, secondary, primary, and the producers, like whatever we have started. Okay. Also, since so little energy is available for the next level of the consumers, food chain generally consists only 3 or 4 steps. The loss of energy at each step is so great that the very little or unusable usable energy remains after the four tropic levels. So there are generally a greater number of individuals at the lower tropic levels of an ecosystem. Okay, and the greatest number of the producers. So the length and the complexity of a food chains are very greatly. If each organisms and the greatly eaten by the two or more other kind of organisms, which is in the turn eaten up by the several other organisms. So instead of a straight line food chain, this I think can be series in the branching line, which is known as food web. So after food thing, a food chain, food web. So food chain is a natural A in the forest like this. Okay, second B in the grassland, and C this is a pond. So three different ecosystems. Food chain has been shown here. Okay, now food web. From the energy flow diagram, two things is like become very clear. Firstly, the flow of energy is a unidirectional. Okay. Second, the energy that is captured in the autotrophs does not revert back by the solar input, and the energy which passes to the herbivores does not come back to the heterotroph. So as it moves progressively through the various tropic level, it is no longer available to the previous level. Second thing is that the energy level at the each tropic level diminished, okay, and progressively due to the loss of energy at each level. So another interesting aspect of a food chain is unknowingly some harmful chemicals enter through the bodies through the food chain, and also one of the reason used to the several pesticides and other chemical to protect our crops from the diseases. Some of the external organism enters. Okay, so just for that we for the crops we can use sometime pesticide and all. So these chemicals are either washed down on the into the soil, or into the water bodies from the soil, or these are absorbed. Either they will washed out, or second is either they will absorb by the plants of the which water minerals and the from plant bodies are taken up by the aquatic animals. So see, firstly sunlight. Okay, sunlight to the producers, then producers to the herbivores, then herbivores to the carnivores, and they will send it to the top carnivores. So food web consists of many food chains, how they are intercorrelated to each other. Now, and the this one is the way which we can enter the food chain, and as these chemicals are not degradable, they are accumulated progressively at a tropic level. And as the human beings occupy the top level of any food chain, so the maximum concentration of these chemicals are accumulated in our bodies in comparison to plant and animals. In human body it founds most, and the phenomena is known as biological magnification. Okay, and this is the reason why food grains such as wheat, rice, vegetables, and the plants and even meat contain varying amount of pesticide and residues. So they cannot always be removed by the washing or other means. Now there is one activity. Firstly, newspaper reports about the pesticide level in a ready-made elements or the items, and often seen these days are some stable have banned these products. So you can discuss these all things. Also, what do you think about the would be the source of pesticide in these food, and could the pesticide get our body from the source and through other food products too? You also discuss the method could be applied, reduce or intake of the pesticide. So simply we'll have to discuss this particular topic in a deep way. Okay. Now, how do our activities affect the environment? That's fine. We have studied the environment. We have studied the ecosystem, food chain, food web. But now, how we matters, how our activity affected. So, firstly, we are integral part of environment, right? So change in the environment affects in our activities changes the environment to around us. We have already seen like how activity we pollute the environment. In this chapter, we shall be looking over the environment problems and in the detail of the depletion of a ozone layer and the waste disposal. Whatever we are doing, how it is affecting the environment, how it affects the nature. So this is what we are going to study. Firstly, we will study the ozone layer and how it's get deflated. Ozone, we most of the time we listen this thing that ozone layer is deflating. That's why it's going. The environment is going worse and all. So what? How? So we know that ozone is firstly O3. Okay, it is a molecule formed by the three atoms of oxygen, while O2, which we normally refer to as an oxygen. So it's the essential for all the aerobic forms of life. Ozone is a deadly poison actually. O3 is the deadly poison. However, at a higher level of the atmosphere, ozone performs an essential function. So it shields the surface of the earth of ultraviolet UV radiation from the sun. But this radiation is highly damaging the organism. For example, it is known to cause the skin cancer and human beings. So ozone at higher levels of the atmosphere is spread up of a UV radiation acting on the oxygen O2 molecule. So the higher energy of a UV radiation is split apart of some molecular oxygen O2 into the free oxygen O. So the atom of the combined molecular oxygen to form the ozone. How it forms O2, then UV will play, then O plus O, then O plus O2, and it will form a O3, or we can say ozone. So this is the process. Now the amount of ozone is in the atmosphere begins to drop sharply. The 1980s, the decrease has been linked to the synthetic chemicals like a chlorofluorocarbon, which is CFC, which is used as a refrigerator, as in the fire extinguisher. Like in 1987, the United Nations Environment Program UNEP succeeded in forging an agreement to free CFC production at a 1986 level. It is a mandatory for all the manufacturing companies to make a CFC car or a free refrigerator throughout the world. See, we have studied what ozone is. Ozone is simply a layer which covered in our Earth's surface and protecting is like us from the UV rays and all. But it's getting deflated just because of these some changes. So it's requested to all the like manufacturing companies to use CFC so that like it won't affect the nature or the environment. So like this simply, so its work is going on so that no effect will happen to the ozone layer. Ozone layer is playing a pivotal role, okay, just to save us from the UV rays and all. Now, there is one activity. Find out from the library or the internet or the newspaper report which of the chemical are responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. It's not only about the one chemical, maybe more. So you can discuss it. What all are these animals? A list of chemicals actually. Also find out the regulation put in the place of the contract control and the commission of these chemicals have succeeded in reducing the damage of the ozone layer. Has the size of the whole ozone layer and changed in the recent year? What actually size changed? What was the previous? What's the current one? Like this, you can discuss more about the ozone layer. Okay. Now managing the garbage we produce. See, in our daily activities, we generate a lot of material that are thrown away, and what are the some of the waste material? What happens after we throw them away? Let us inform or let us perform the activity. Find the answer of these. We know that garbage is something like we use a lot of things in our day to day life. Okay, we use it, but sometimes we throw the apples, we throw the some particles, something. Like what will happen after throwing this? So this is what we will study the procedure and all. So there is one activity. You will have to collect waste material from your homes. Okay, this could be included as a waste material during the day, like kitchen waste, spoiled food, vegetable peels, tea leaves, milk, a packet, empty cartoon, waste paper, empty medicine, bottles, strip, bubble pack, old and torn clothes, and broken footwear, etc. These are the some garbages. Now you will have to bury this material in a pit, okay, school garden, or if there is no space available, you can collect the material in that old bucket. Now, a bowl bucket flower part covered with the 50 centimeter of soil. You will have to simply cover that one with the least 15 centimeter of height. What next is that you just keep the material moist and observe the 15-day interval. What are the materials that remains unchanged over the long period time? You will have to check whatever material you have kept, what materials will change. Okay. And what are the materials will change the form of structure over the time. Also, of these materials that are changed, with the ones are the fastest. How it was, like how you left it, what are all kind of changes you are noticing. So this is what you will have to observe in this activity with the, like, it's a very normal activity. Also within this 15 days interval, you will have to observe the changes, what actually happened, whether the structure change or not. So this is the activity you can do it. Okay. Now we have seen the life process. Chapter life process, that the food we eat digested by the various enzymes, right? Enzyme what we have used, we know what is it. So have you ever wondered like why the same enzymes does not break down everything we eat? Enzymes are the specific in the action. So specific enzymes are needed for the breakdown of a particular substance. That is why we'll not get any energy if we try to eat a coal. Because of this, many and human-made materials like a plastics will not be broken and down by the action of the bacteria or the saprophytes. So these materials will be acted upon the physical process like heat and the pressure. But under the ambient condition found in our environment, these persist for a long time. Simple. We know that enzyme is simply helping us for the digestion process. Okay. So can we eat all the things? Enzyme is not helpful for all the things we are going to intake. So the same way, whenever we are using any material, okay, fine, whatever the bacteria can do, they will simply decompose it. But what if it is not possible with this bacteria or this other saprophytes? So it will take some process. It will take process of heat. It will take a process for the pressure and all, and also it will take a long time. So it will be there in our environment for the long time. So substances that are broken down by the biological process are called a biodegradable. Okay, fine. If they are just by the help of fungi, bacteria and all, they are degrading, then it's a biological process and it will be the biodegradable thing. Okay, substance. Now, how many of these substances you buried were the biodegradable? Whatever you did, you just find it out. So substances that are not being broken down in this manner are said to be a non-biodegradable. And these substances may be inert and simplify persist the environment for the long time and may harm the various member of the ecosystem. So this is what biodegradable and non-biodegradable substance means. How it affects if they are simply biodegrading with help of biological process, then it's fine. But if not, then it may affect the environment. It may affect the ecosystem and even the members who are taking place in the ecosystem. It may affect these things. Okay, so this is about the biodegradable and the non-biodegradable substance. Now, one more activity is there. You just use the library or internet to find out some more biodegradable and the non-biodegradable substance. How long in the various non-biodegradable substance expected to last in our environment? Maybe some years, maybe some days. Like this, you can just make a list of non-biodegradable substances. Also, these days, new type of plastics which is said to be a biodegradable are available. Find out more about the such materials, whether they do or not harmful our environment. So this is how you can classify the biodegradable and non-biodegradable substance. How long it will take place, or what kind of substance we can use so that no environment will affect. So this was the activity. Okay. Now you just visit any town or city. Okay, and we are sure that to find the heaps of the garbage all over the place. Visit any place of the tourist interest, and we are sure that the place littered with the empty food wrappers. And in earlier classes, we have studied and talked about the problems of dealing with the garbage that we generate. So let us discuss or let us know about the problem bit more deeply. We know garbage is something which is very common. Like anywhere we can see uh, collection of garbage. And also, firstly, when activity is there, you just find out what happens to the waste generated at a home. Okay, you'll have to find out. Firstly, from the home, we can initiate the things. Okay, so first, you just find out like what happens. You generate waste at home. Is there the system in the place to collect the waste, or find out how the local body, like the panchayat or the municipal corporation or the resident welfare association, deals with the waste? Are there mechanism in the place to treat the biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste separately? Calculate how much waste is generated home in a day, how much of this waste is biodegradable, and calculate how much waste is generated in the classroom in a day, and how much of the waste is biodegradable. Suggest ways of dealing on the waste. See, from this like whatever we have studied, we know that what are the biodegradable, what are the non-biodegradable. So we can initiate this from our surrounding. Our surrounding means the school, the coaching classes, and the house. Okay, you will have to simply check it out that what all kind of garbage we are using. Once like what kind of garbage we are collecting, after that you just divide it in the biodegradable and the non-biodegradable thing. Like this, you can simply break it down and also suggest in place of the things which is taking a lot of time to like decompose and all, we use another thing in place of polythene, the paper bags, like this. So these kind of ideas you can implement, just from your surrounding you can take an idea and just do it. Okay, this activity is quite impressive. After this, one more activity is that you will have to find out the sewage in your locality is treated. Okay, are the mechanism in this ensure that the local water bodies are not polluted or the untreated sewage. Find out how the local industries in your locality treat their waste. Are there mechanism in the same place to ensure the soil and the water polluted by this waste? Even you can see the sewage system of your locality, how they are working, whether it's fine or not. So like this, these are some activities which totally related to our surroundings. Now, improvement in our cycle and improvement in our lifestyle have resulted in a greater amounts of the waste material generation. Changes in attitude also have a role to play. With more and the more things we use, use becoming disposable. Changes in packaging have resulted in much of the waste and non-biodegradable. What do you think will impact on our environment? With the time, things are keep on changing. We are focusing on the packaging thing. So whether this affects or not, do you think so? Why and how we can eradicate this problem? Now, disposable cups in trade. Think it over. If you ask your parents, they will probably remember a time when the train was served in the plastic glasses, okay, which had to be returned to the vendor. Now the introduction to the disposable cups. Now they are simply using the disposable cup and was hailed as a step and forward for the reason of a hygiene. No one at that time perhaps thought about the impact caused to the disposable millions of these cups on the daily basis. Sometime cooler, they are disposable, that is disposable cups made of clay, which is suggested as an alternative. But a little thought showed that making these coolers on the large scale would be result in the loss of fertile topsoil. So now disposable paper cups are being used. And what do you think the advantages of disposable paper cups over the disposable plastic cups? So whether it's like fine or not, you can think about it. There is a replacement of most of the things. So whether it's fine or not, you can think and let discuss these all things. Now after that, one more activity is there. Search in the internet or a library, find it out what hazardous materials have dealt with the disposing the electronic items. Yeah, see, simply now you are only discussing about the we were simply discussing about the garbage say we are producing in the day-to-day life. But what have you think about the electronic items? How we dealt with it, how we decompose it, how would these material affects the environment? So this part you can discuss in more brief thing, like how we can decompose the electronic items. Also find out how the plastic are recycled. Does the recycling process have any impact to the environment? So the plastic recycling thing as well you can discuss in here. Okay, now what you have learned in this chapter. Firstly, the various component of an ecosystems are interdependent. We have studied that. Firstly, we have studied the environment. Second, the ecosystem. Then the components. Then the things which are playing role in the ecosystem, how they are interdependent under the various components. Okay. Second is the producers makes the energy from the sunlight and available to the rest of the system. The producer, the consumers, okay, how it producing, sunlight is producing, then how it is just getting shifted to other thing, the consumers and all. So this is what we have studied and how it helps, or how producers makes the energy firstly from the help of sunlight, and they are just taking available for the rest of the ecosystem, especially for the plant things we are talking about. They're just shifting, so they are just maintaining the ecosystem. Okay, now third is there is a loss of energy as we go from a one tropical to the next level. The tropical chart we have started like this. Okay, tropical, subtropical and all. So there is a loss of energy once we go in the up level. Okay, when the next level, there is a loss of energy, and this limit of number of tropic level is in the food chain. The food chain and the food web we have studied now. Now, third is your fourth is human activities have impact on the environment. Yeah, obviously, we know environment is fine, but we are the one who is also responsible for the polluting this beautiful environment. There are some activities which directly or indirectly affects the environment. Okay, but how, that also we have discussed, the garbage thing, the decomposed thing, what we can do, what we can replace it and all. Fifth is the use of a chemicals. Okay, CFCs has endangered the ozone layer. Since the ozone layer protects against the ultraviolet radiation from the sun and could damage the environment. Okay, so ozone layer, the depletion of ozone layer, we have studied the O3, how it makes, so how it's simply getting depleted because of us, only because of pollution, because of environmental activities. It's getting depleting. Also, as it's protecting us from the UV, direct UV rays from the sunlight. The waste we generate may be biodegradable and a non-biodegradable that we categorized and we have studied as well. Fourth, last one is the disposable of the waste we generate causing a serious environment problems. How we can do it, like how we can uh, eradicate this problem, this environment issues that we can discuss this. So this is all about the chapter of environment. But still, if you have any doubts or you want a teacher to guide you personally, you can join the one-to-one live tutoring at the Goas Now Academy. We will help you to learn every concept with the ease. Thanks for watching this. Stay tuned for the next videos. Thank you very much.